like to ask everyone to silence their cell phones. And gentlemen, please remove your hats. Let's bow our heads. Gracious God, we thank you for this moment, a moment to gather as a college, as a family of scholars, a moment to give thanks for the excellent work of professors, teachers, and administrators. This is a very special time in the life of our college as we welcome new students to our campus and into our community. May our students know your presence and see your glory as each day of the semester unfolds. Grant them your wisdom and fill their hours and days with blessings from above. As the educators in this room approach the task of influencing young people, may your love and faithfulness abound in their own lives and the lives they touch. Bless the friendships that are begun, the decisions that are made, and the conversations that take place both in and out of the classroom. As we anticipate the days, months, and years that lie ahead with excitement and hope, we ask a special blessing on our administration. We are thankful for their wisdom and strength of leadership during this time of transition. May this Georgetown College community find joy in learning and serving together as students, parents, administration, faculty, and staff. May our lives be enriched as we learn from and serve each other. Continue to enlighten with your wisdom all who teach and all who learn. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good morning. I was really hoping it was going to be a packed house, and you certainly did not disappoint me. As an alumna, longtime trustee, and currently your acting president, it is truly a pleasure to welcome you to opening Convocation. I want to take just a minute to recognize a few people. First, we have several of our Georgetown College Board of Trustees here today. Mr. Randy Fox, Mr. V.I. Houston, our Vice Chair, and Mr. Bob Doty, thank you for being here today. Our beloved faculty, how impressive and distinguished you look in your regalia. Administration and staff, thank you for being here today as well. And dear friends and guests of the college, it is special that you are here. My husband and Georgetown alumnus, Mr. Al Blevins. And students, welcome. You are the reason we are all here, and we are so glad to see you this morning. And one more very special guest, Dr. Dwayne Green, our incoming president. I will formally introduce Dr. Green later in the program, but for now, on behalf of the entire Georgetown College community, I extend a sincere and heartfelt Georgetown welcome to you. So once again. Today is a great day, and it is the start of what I know is going to be an exceptional year for Georgetown College. Now please welcome Ms. Laura Wiley, our Dean of Students, to the podium as we continue our program.
Good morning, close to afternoon. It's so great to have you all here. What I would like to do now is the induction of your SGA president. So if I could ask Adam Wetherington to come up. Adam is a junior transfer student, political science and Spanish major, membership chair of his fraternity, and your SGA president. So Adam, yep. Adam, if you'll repeat after me. I, Adam Wetherington, do solemnly promise.
I, Adam Wetherington, do solemnly promise.
that I will faithfully execute the office of the Student Body President of Georgetown College.
That I will faithfully execute the office of the Student Body President of Georgetown College.
I will cherish the heritage and mission of the college.
I will cherish the heritage and mission of the college.
And to the best of my ability, through the Student Government Association,
And to the best of my ability, through the Student Government Association,
strive to enhance this historic community of faith and learning.
strive to enhance this historic community of faith and learning.
I will cherish the 8 guiding principles of Georgetown College
I will cherish the 8 guiding principles of Georgetown College
and strive to instill a sense of responsibility
and strive to instill a sense of responsibility
for service to the school among my fellow students.
for service to the school among my fellow students.
Congratulations. I'm now going to ask Adam if he will introduce the rest of SGA Council.
Thank you. If I could have my executive council to please stand. I'd ask you to hold your applause until I've introduced everyone to you. I hope all your school years have started off great. And just know that we're here to help you. We're here to talk to you. That's what we do, and that's what we're here to do. So first, we have our Vice President, Ms. Annalisa Strickland. She's a junior from Lexington, Kentucky, a chemistry major and biology minor. Next, we have our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Alex Caudle. He's a sophomore from Henderson, Kentucky, a political science major and theater minor. Next, our Vice President of Campus and Community Affairs, Madeline Frost. She's a junior from Lexington, Kentucky, and a psychology major. Next, our parliamentarian, Ms. Jennifer Kerr, a junior from Louisville, Kentucky, a biology major and chemistry minor. Next, our Public Relations Chair, Taylor Dye. She's a sophomore from Boonville, Kentucky, a music major and business minor. And last but not least, we have our Student Concerns Chair, Mr. Tevin Lloyd. He is a senior from, am I saying this right, New Orleans, Louisiana, correct? Okay. And he is a music business major. So that is our SGA Executive Council. Let's give them a round of applause.
Well, I'm pleased to be able to introduce our new faculty member this year. Would Tim Van Heidsma please come forward? Where are you, Tim? There you go. Oh, okay. Go on. Let the poor man out. Well, okay. I tell you what. Why don't you just turn around where you are? Okay. This is Tim Van Heidsma. Dr. Tim Van Heidsma joins us as Assistant Professor of Kinesiology. He has a BA from Calvin College. His master's degree is from Indiana University. And sometime later this fall, he will be awarded his PhD from the University of Utah. So welcome, Dr. Tim Van Heidsma. The next thing I get to do always pleases me very much, and this is to give the John Walker Manning Distinguished Mentor and Teacher Award. This award recognizes faculty who have shown a commitment to Georgetown College by being involved with students and who have also demonstrated excellence in teaching. Nominees shall have demonstrated leadership in mentoring and counseling students in their academic coursework and other aspects of college life during the past 2 years. They shall have demonstrated collegiality, Georgetown attitude and spirit, and high moral character. And they shall have contributed to the college academic community above and beyond regular duties during the past 2 years. This award was made possible by a gift from Dr. Manning's late widow, Mrs. Sylvia Beard. And the Manning Award is special because students make the nominations and have the majority voice in choosing the winner. This year's recipient of the Manning Award is someone who is characterized over and over with the words above and beyond. He teaches in a field that most students find intimidating and difficult. Yet every nomination I received focuses on his willingness to work with every student until that student can feel confident in knowledge of that subject. One nominator describes how this professor will sit down with a struggling student and work on a single problem for as long as it takes for the student to get it, and then affirm that the solution is the one that the student came up with, always saying, "You know this stuff better than you think you do." His teaching style is described by one student as unorthodox but effective, with a focus on requiring students to think on their own while learning the material. He's extraordinarily generous with his time. One student described how he sacrifices his time, effort, and sleep to his students, not only offering them academic support, but also in supporting such things as, Dance Marathon or Humans versus Zombies. One student says, I value him as a professor, a gentleman, a seeker of knowledge, and a great mentor. And because he is a professor who is also, as it happens, one of my former students, I am very excited to present this year's John Walker Manning Distinguished Mentor and Teacher Award to Dr. D, Dr. Jonathan Dickinson.
Congratulations. A few weeks ago, on August 5th, Dr. Dwayne Green removed his Campbell University lapel pin and replaced it with the Georgetown College pin, signifying his decision to accept the call to become Georgetown's 24th president. In just about 2 months, on October 21st, that act will truly be complete when he officially takes the reins and begins his tenure as our president. Despite all he has to do between now and then, he graciously agreed to come today and be with us and to deliver the convocation address. Originally from the northwest mountains of North Carolina, Dr. Green comes to Georgetown from Campbell University, a Baptist college in Buies Creek, North Carolina, where he has been academic vice president and provost since 2001. He is an alumnus of Campbell, where he earned his bachelor's degree in religion and was an outstanding baseball player. He then received his Master of Arts in New Testament from Wake Forest University and subsequently completed his doctorate in New Testament and early Christianity from the University of Virginia. Early in his career, Dr. Green was chairman of the Department of Religion and Philosophy at Chowan College. Did I say Chowan right that time? Say it for me again. Chowan College in Murfreesboro, North Carolina, before moving to Lees-McRae College in Banner Elk, North Carolina. Dr. Green, you're also going to help us understand where these locations are in North Carolina. At Lees-McRae, Dr. Green held numerous positions, including religion professor, department chair, provost, dean of faculty, and acting president. Dr. Green is a member of the Society of Biblical Literature and the National Association of Baptist Professors of Religion. Dr. Green met Carolyn, his wife of 33 years, while they were both students at Campbell. They are the proud parents of 2 daughters, Patricia and Meredith. Patricia received a Master of Divinity from Union Presbyterian Seminary in Richmond, Virginia, and is being ordained as a Baptist minister on September 22nd. She will be working this year as a chaplain resident at the Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center in Winston-Salem. Meredith is in the 4th year of a program at Wake Forest University, pursuing a PhD in molecular medicine. Can you imagine the chat around the dinner table with this family? Dr. Green lovingly referred to his daughters as body and soul when introducing them recently at the press conference announcing his presidency. In addition to Dr. Green's baseball abilities, he is interested in all kinds of sports, outdoor activities, reading, and playing the piano. When Dr. Green was asked to explain why he decided to accept the Georgetown presidency and move from his alma mater and beloved North Carolina. Dr. Green confidently responded, "I believe in the will of God, and were it not for that, I would not be here." Dr. Green, we too believe in the will of God, and we are so pleased you responded to God's call. Please join me in welcoming my new friend and our 24th president, Dr. Dwayne Green.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Acting President Blevins, Provost Allen, faculty and staff colleagues, trustees, students, distinguished guests, friends of Georgetown College, to you all, greetings, and a very hearty greetings. For every one of us who is in this beautiful chapel today, there has been quite a path in our life which has led us to this point. I work with a man whose one of his sayings is that it takes a whole life to shape you into who you are, and that is the case for every one of us here today. I celebrate your experience today, and I look forward in these weeks and months ahead to getting to know your story, to sitting with you, and to enjoying the relationship that we will grow together. That will bring me great joy, and I look forward to that immensely. Today does hold special significance for me, for it is the first time that I have been privileged to address this college body as its president-elect. There has indeed been quite a journey which has brought me here. Many of those turns have been well chronicled on your website and on other public pieces. Not all of them, but many of them. But I want to affirm on this opening occasion, and to affirm in a most definitive way, how honored I am to have been selected as the 24th president of Georgetown College, and how pleased I am to be with you in this special opening event. There were other individuals whom you could have chosen, but you came after me, and I was greatly honored by that. And though the path was not easy to dislodge me and bring me here, nonetheless, I am deeply honored, and I'm extremely pleased to be your president-elect. Today is a day of introducing and convening and celebrating, and I'm thrilled to be with you. It is the case, as has been mentioned, that I will complete some prior commitments which will take me away for just a few weeks. But in a brief time, I will return, and on October the 21st, I will begin my service as president. The month of August has been quite a whirlwind month for me. During August, in different settings and in different ceremonies, I have welcomed 121 new law students, 162 medical students, 108 new pharmacy students, 44 new students in a physician assistant program, dozens of other master's level students, and over 1,000 new undergraduates. And I've welcomed all of those at a university that is not in Kentucky, but in North Carolina. But I have to say that of all the students I have welcomed this month, your group is the group that is most special to me. And I extend that greeting, and I look forward with great joy to getting to know you as your president here at Georgetown College. For the new students, we share the distinction of beginning together. And for all of the students who are here, I want to thank you for choosing Georgetown College. You are bright and talented, or you wouldn't have been admitted here. And you had many other options that you could have selected. There's over 4,000 colleges and universities in the United States. And you could have gone to many of those institutions. but you didn't. You selected Georgetown. And the fact that you selected Georgetown College is not lost on us at all. We deeply appreciate that choice. We will do everything that we can, everything in our power, to help make your time at Georgetown College both enjoyable and successful. I want you to know that underneath this robe is an orange and black tie. It is amusingly coincidental that of all the colleges and universities in this country, that I come to Georgetown from an institution whose colors are orange and black. So I have a wardrobe that is already ready for a Georgetown presidency. And I come from a state where blue and white are also strong university colors. But I assure you that I am long accustomed to considering all colors simply a shade of orange. So you will see me proudly wearing orange and black on many, many occasions. And today I wear the orange and black in honor of you and of our joining together here at Georgetown College. Now, as for a mascot, I'm thrilled now to be identified as a tiger. It's been mentioned that I was an athlete in college, and I was. And from my student days as a baseball player to my years as a provost, I have labored to understand and then to explain how a camel is a suitable mascot. And what I'm referencing here, of course, is that the mascot of Campbell University is the camel. Now, it has been quite a chore through my years to rationalize, with all due respect to camels now, it's been quite a chore to rationalize how something which looks like a camel, which has padded feet and humps and drinks a lot of water and has tortuously slow reactions, and when it runs, it's almost comedy in motion. How something like that could actually be a suitable mascot representing athletic strength and prowess. That has defied all explanations for me, for my years since the mid-1970s when I first came to be a camel. But I want you to know with absolute certainty that I am elated to shift from the camel symbol to become a tiger. That's a great thrill. A proud tiger. As a matter of fact, I want us to covenant together this year. I want us to covenant around the theme of Georgetown proud. Georgetown proud. There are such traditions and accomplishments here that there's every reason to be proud. The historic achievements of Georgetown College are well documented. But I have been reviewing the recent achievements of this college, and I have to say that they are most impressive. There are faculty members here who are presenting and publishing results of their research. They are mentoring you as students in research across many fields. I see the addition of a biochemistry major. I see graduates from a chemistry program which is approved by the American Chemical Society. I see achievements in music and theater. I see commitment to religious life expanding on campus. I see recommitment to service. I see successes in athletics across almost every sport, including a national championship, Coaches of the Year, all conference awards, academic All-Americans, and on it goes. So let's lift our thoughts high. Let's lift them high in affirming these achievements. Let's begin the year with Georgetown pride as something that is well-deserved and has been well-earned. Let me speak for another reason. Let me speak to another reason about Georgetown pride. And this one will come from a bit different direction. Academically, my specialty training is as a scholar of New Testament and early Christianity. And for 27 years, I have taught either full-time or part-time on subjects associated with religion and especially biblical studies. But one of my reading interests through the years has been in the field of theoretical physics. Over 25 years ago, I was intrigued by a book that was entitled A Brief History of Time. It was a book written by Stephen Hawking. You know this name. He is now the director of research at the Cambridge University Center for Theoretical Cosmology. In more recent years, I enjoyed reading Hawking's book entitled The Universe in a Nutshell. And in that book, he continues his quest to unravel the mysteries of time and the universe. And for a person who has enjoyed reading and trying to understand theoretical physics, and for a person who has enjoyed science fiction for many years, when he asks such questions as, has the universe had more than one history? Is time real, or is it imaginary? Is time travel possible? Is the universe infinite, or is it just very large? Or could an advanced civilization go back and actually change the past? Those type questions intrigue me. Hawking is aware that the universe is expanding and that space goes on and on and on, and that space and time are integrally connected and that they are curved by physical matter in the galaxies. And that we can capture evidence of billions and billions of galaxies containing billions of stars which have untold billions of planets around them. We live on a planet orbiting a star which is in the outer arm of the spiral galaxy named the Milky Way. But as the thesis of his book, in spite of all that physics stuff, as the thesis of his book, Hawking appeals to a Shakespeare line on the lips of Hamlet, who says, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space. I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space. It's like being inside of a pecan or a walnut, but with that tiny nut encapsulating everything that is in the universe. Now, what an intriguing thought. Now, take that image, and let's bring that image to Georgetown. Here we sit in north central Kentucky. We sit in only the 26th most populous state in our nation, roughly 4.3 million people in Kentucky. And yet the world and its perspectives are present here on this campus of Georgetown College. This fall semester, we have hundreds of undergraduate and graduate students, many here today. You're drawn from many states. There's a wonderful blend of female and male students. In our student body, we have numerous countries represented. In this population of students, there is witness to various cultures and traditions and experiences and social practices and religious perspectives and spoken languages and on and on. All of this is here in one location in its cumulative breadth. This is impressive. It is quite stunning. And it's not only with the students, but the world resides in the minds and the attitudes and the experiences of Georgetown faculty. Faculty colleagues here have been trained at some of the finest universities in the United States and around the world. One could easily list dozens of different universities from which Georgetown faculty have earned advanced degrees. You could easily be in conversation with faculty who are skilled intellectuals in biochemistry and world literature, church history, economic systems, cell biology, organic chemistry, developmental psychology, political science, on and on. But all of this expertise is here. It's in one location. The world comes to Georgetown. This is our community. This is our world community. This is a college community of which we can be justly proud. As I see it, Georgetown pursues a mission to prepare students for productive lives and in that preparation to foster a high level of academic performance, an appreciation of Christian faith and values, and the exercise of responsible citizenship. That worthy mission is pursued in a caring environment which respects diverse experiences and diverse perspectives. That mission is worthy of being pursued with all zeal and devotion and joy, no matter what obstacles there are that have to be traversed. We are extraordinarily blessed to be a part of that endeavor. As a college, we are privileged beyond most in our culture. We have freedom. We have freedom to follow our intellectual and our professional bliss. We engage in a context where faith and academic pursuits are embraced as complementary. And we work in a context where the end reaches beyond ourselves. We strive to improve the lives of other people. Now that is an humbling ambition, and what a marvelous blessing. That is what has drawn me to Georgetown College. That is what has drawn me here. And I hope that that is what will enliven you as you pursue your involvements of this year. It is likely, students, that as you go about your task, that you will face many challenges. Through the years, I have enjoyed asking a lot of students what they regarded as the most difficult class they had ever taken. Now, I've heard a wide range of responses, but there are certain courses that show up with a great deal of regularity, as you might expect. I regularly hear that it's physical chemistry or immunology or Calc 3 or constitutional law or law and economics or modern theology and philosophy. These are ones that show up a lot. For me, in my undergraduate experience, the most demanding undergraduate class that I experienced was one that I experienced my first semester as a freshman in college. I didn't select a college based on an academic program. I selected a college based on a baseball program. And so what I was going to major in college was yet to be determined when I showed up as an athlete. My first academic advisor suggested to me that inasmuch as preparation in languages was core requirement, that and since the Spanish and French, which I was a bit more interested in, since the Spanish and French intro courses were closed, this advisor suggested that I take a Greek grammar class. He thought that would be helpful to me to enroll in Greek grammar. Now, I was an 18-year-old shortstop. And yet, I knew very little about college. But I was trained to respect my professors, and here I had a professor telling me that I needed to take a Greek grammar class, and so that meant one thing to me. That meant that I needed to take a Greek grammar class. So I enrolled, and I was soon to be engaged in something that would ultimately transform my life. This Greek course in which I was placed was classical Greek grammar. Now, there are a few of you in the know about this. This was not baby Greek. This was not Koine Greek, which is much more simple, much easier. This was classical Greek grammar. It was taught by a grizzled elderly man, well in his 70s, a man who had been the chairman of the classics department at Wake Forest University for 30 years. The man's name itself was a memorable name. His name was Cronje Burnford Arp. Cronje Burnford Arp. And I honor him today by calling his name on the campus of Georgetown College. For just as the very best professors here, this man represented the absolute apex of what demanding academic preparation was to be. And he did it in his unique way. It was not easy to survive his class. And it may seem strange, maybe not, but most students did not survive his class. We started with 48 students. There were some other students who were perhaps suckered into that to begin with too. But we started with 48 students in the class. And when the course ended, there were less than half of us who were left. The rest of them had either voluntarily withdrawn after a few days of understanding what they were going to face, or as the semester had gone along, they were summarily dismissed from the class by Dr. Arp. Because if your level of effort in his class was not what he expected, he would simply dismiss you from the course. There was no problem, even though most professors weren't quite that brave at that time, but he had been the former professor of the person who was the president of the college. So there was no problem. Dr. Arp's demands were rigorous. They were extremely rigorous. As major test days would arrive, our stress level just went out the top of our head. Students would be sitting in Dr. Arp's class before the test, and we would be reviewing the last-minute details as best we could. Dr. Arp was an elderly gentleman. He was well in his 70s when I had him. He was held up by a back brace. He had a large back brace, or otherwise he would have tipped over in the floor because he could not hold himself up. He couldn't pick his feet up very well. He shuffled his feet on the floor when he walked. But Dr. Arp would shuffle into the room, and he would witness students in his classroom sitting there and studying and sweating and praying to the good Lord Almighty to please help me with this amount of material. And on such occasions, Dr. Arp would utter his famous phrase, "Don't expect God to do for you what he gives you the ability to do for yourself." Don't expect God to do for you what he gives you the ability to do for yourself. Now, I was only later to learn that whole concept, which seems so very harsh to me, that is deeply rooted in Judeo-Christian tradition and in the philosophies of many cultures. To me, it was what my professor said. And even though it seems so harsh, it was coming from this wonderful man of a very deep Christian conviction. Of course, what Dr. Arp was reinforcing was this indissoluble Christian paradigm of believing and doing, of faith and works, of words and efforts, of thinking and acting responsibly. Now, as an 18-year-old who was trying to adjust to college, that advice was blunt. It was harsh and it was blunt, but it was some of the best advice that I would ever receive. It would stand me in good stead through undergraduate years and graduate years, and it has assisted me greatly in 27 years in the profession of higher education as a faculty member and administrator. The point has been made by many people. You may have heard something similar along your years as well. Some years ago, a fair number of years ago, I had an acquaintance who was a very influential Baptist man of years past. This man was a teacher and a preacher. He was an administrator. He was a minister. He was a very highly regarded man in Baptist circles in the 1950s through the 1980s, and his name was Dr. Ben Fisher. He was a very large man. Dr. Fisher told a story which again has echoed to me for many years. Dr. Fisher told a story of an old mountain preacher who was frustrated with his congregation over their hesitancy to go into debt in order to have money for the improvements that were needed to their church. The church needed Sunday school rooms, it needed a church steeple, it needed a bell, it needed some other renovations in the building. And the church members were raising money, but it was coming way too slowly. And the preacher was getting frustrated. So one Sunday morning, the preacher informed the congregation that it was time to roll up their sleeves and get to work. The image that the preacher presented to his congregation was the image of climbing an oak tree. And as Dr. Fisher told the story, here's what the preacher said. He said, "You know, there are just two ways to climb an oak tree. You can wrap your arms and your legs around that rough, scaly bark and work at it. And when you get to the top, you may have lost a little bit of your hide, but the view will be pretty, and you'll be so proud that you're up there. Or," he said, "you can plant an acorn and sit on it." Now, in this year ahead, whether you're a student or a faculty member or a staff member or an administrator, this year may have plenty of challenges which may test you a bit. But be assured that God will bless your effort, and God will bless your journey, and God will bless your destination. Once again, I am thrilled to be with you. I regard it as a deep honor. I am honored to be your president-elect. And I look forward with great optimism and with great joy to what we are about to accomplish together. We have a very good beginning. God bless you now. Thank you very much.
At this time, I will ask you all to please stand with me. We are going to read together the commitment to community, which is found inside your program. I accept the opportunity and the challenge of becoming a member of the Georgetown College community. Because I have come to Georgetown by personal choice, I agree to abide by the academic, social, and spiritual standards of the institution. I commit myself to broaden my intellectual horizons, to extend my cultural awareness, to grow spiritually, to enhance my social perception, and to develop my physical well-being. As a member of the Georgetown College community, I will seek to affirm the value and dignity of all its members as we engage in the living, learning opportunities before us.
Alma mater, our dear Georgetown, bell the blue, 'tis thee we crown. Thou hast taught us truth and right, and to trust in God's own might. Our alma mater, thou dear on earth, soul inspiring, long live thy name. To us thou wilt be a beacon to guide, to duty, to faith, and truest loyalty. Would you bow your heads, please, as we sing our benediction over you today?